So we're going to kick off here. I'm Alicain Carlson, the head of technical services for Americas for Syngenta Flowers.
And I'm Jamie Gibson, technical lead for Syngenta Flowers.
So we are super excited to be doing the summer trials review webinar again. We look forward to it every single year and love sharing with you all, our travels and the travels of our colleagues and all the trials that are done out there and how our new varieties performed for the year. So we're going to start off with a huge thank you to all of our trialing partners, because legitimately without all of them, all of these sites, all of these people dedicated to doing this, we wouldn't have this webinar, and we wouldn't have all the information and performance and great feedback on all of our genetics. So we're celebrating 2 new trial sites added this year, which is really exciting.
Yeah, DGI, so they're a part now of the Michigan Garden Tour, and we have a photo here of Angela. Angela, we know you worked really hard to make your first presentation at DGI with all the color there, so congratulations, great job. And then also the Cincinnati Zoo was another partner for this year. Lots of great performance of our genetics. I think it was 60,000 plants in the zoo and over 800 varieties tested. That's pretty impressive.
That's awesome. Thank you, Eason, for organizing that at the zoo. Pretty cool. Flowers and animals at the zoo. I mean, what more could you want in a trial site? So that is awesome. So thank you for all your professionalism and all the hard work that it takes to put into these trials. Thank you. And then, so we have just a reminder here that we have this all of this information about lots of photos from all of our trial sites where our genetics were, that you can look at anytime. You can look at it on your computer, on your phone, your tablet, whatever, and you can look at all the sites and the photography from those sites. And we actually have archived the trials from prior years. Yep. So you can even look back a few years too.
Yeah, 4 years worth of data with photos like Sunfinity, Caldera, Hot Blooded, all these great series that we've shown throughout the gardens across North America.
Exactly. So, and then here's the distribution of our trial sites, that we're going through today and what we show on our website. So, really great representation from all the major regions of our industry. So we've got some good feedback.
And our colleagues are there where you are. So they're engaging, they're visiting these trial sites on a daily basis, and they're capturing all of these great photographs and feedback on performance in the heat and humidity of the summer and those stresses that come about on the plants and how they perform.
Yep. Where you are. All right, so here is our agenda for the day. A lot to go through here, some amazing introductions that we had this year. So we'll start off with seed and then go into our vegetative introductions, hit some quick combos, and then we've got a little 2024 sneak peek for you. So definitely want to stick around. All right, Jamie, kick us off with Limitless.
Yeah, this was really exciting. So this was a project that we had with several propagators to evaluate how this tuberous begonia would do. And it was really high accolades from the beginning, with strong propagation, great germination, and the production. So one of the interesting things about the Limitless is the large flowers, and also it finishes about a week earlier than a lot of the competitors. Mm-hmm. And so we've offered now the core colors, but let's take a look at some of these really awesome novelty colors. So a lot of people are really excited about those different shades and tones of some of the novelties. One of the really beautiful ones is the Sorbet. So that's going to have some of those orange and peach colors. Then you've also got Sunrise and Sunset. So Sunrise, that's going to have these pink shades and these peachy shades. And then the Sunset will have more yellow shades and peach shades. So really beautiful, gorgeous plants. And the sweet spot is the quart, the 6-inch, and the hanging basket. I think my favorite photo from the entire summer is this one at Henry Mass Greenhouses in Western Michigan. These guys do a nice job of outlining and laying out the genetics. Here it is, all of the colors in these hanging baskets, exactly what Limitless Begonia was built for these 10-inch and 12-inch hanging baskets. And then you can see the beautiful Talavera coleus underneath.
Look at there.
And we did some evaluations across these trial sites as well. So in Penn State, you know, this dark red looking really good. The dark rose there in the south at Metrolina. Look at that gorgeous sorbet, the novelty colors of it. And then also the sunset. Not only are we seeing container evaluation, but the garden evaluation at Smith Gardens in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal. And it's really seeing that large flower size, fully double.
Also some shots out of Michigan. Here we have Raker's Robertas. They're expressing them in containers. So you can see the flower power. This is in post-cultivate. This is in the summer. This is in the heat of the summer. And here you can see the flower power on these tuberous begonias. Michigan State also gave some really strong ratings. On the yellow here, we had a 4.5 out of 5 on the yellow. So that's one of those core colors in tuberous begonia. Okay, moving into the seed geranium, our Pinto Premium series. So this, we are market leaders in seed geranium. We have a really strong portfolio of colors, and premium means bench running. So when all of these flower at the same time, customers are seeing the shipping and the performance of these. And so being market leader, we're very proud of this series. And so let's take a look at how it featured in the garden. So one of the first ones we always kind of unveil is there at the season premiere at Costa. Big, robust. I mean, you know, you think about our vegetative geraniums, Allison, but I mean, the seed series, the Pinto Premium series in the garden makes a presence. And so this is the deep salmon. So we've taken salmon and now we've built in this deep salmon as the improvement with a really rich tone of color. Extremely attractive, high performer. We've had it at Cultivate, we had it at Cast, and look forward to seeing a lot of production of this next year.
Yeah, it's amazing to see all that branching and that color coverage. I mean, the bud count, it's just amazing. All right, so transitioning now into marigolds. So we add 2 new French marigold series to the Syngenta assortment, which is already quite robust. So we've got Cresta, and then on the next slide, we've got Illumia, which is an anemone type flower for a French marigold. So, you know, one-stop shop now for marigolds, Jamie. I mean, Syngenta's got it all. We've got the Africans, we've got Inca, we've got Antigua, we've got Perfection, we've got the triploid marigolds, we've got Endurance. We even have other Frenches, Happy, great heat tolerance with that. I mean, what am I missing? I mean, I think that's it.
That covers us. And now with these 2 additions, these full series with colors and also these novelties, that's very special.
Exactly. So all of these varieties, lots of great color combinations. So there's the assortment of the Crestas, and then here's the Illumias with that anemone type flower. So, you know, really something for everybody here. I love that we have all of these marigolds for, you know, folks who are doing Day of the Dead promotions at retail, you know, so something for everybody, and every type of culture and every container size. So look at some of the performance on these, because I was really blown away by the performance of these marigolds. You know, a French marigold, you know, usually you're kind of expecting a squatty little thing in the garden, you know, some color and whatnot, but these really blew my socks off. You've got the plant body underneath these was really phenomenal, and then supporting all that color and that flower coverage on them, just covered in color all season, you know. And here we've got photos from Metrolina, Smith Gardens, you know, up in Washington State, and you know, you really just see that performance across the country. And then here's the Illumias, you know, from Young's to, again, back to Washington and Metrolina, just covered in color, color saturation, beautiful flowers, and the plant build, the vigor on these is really, really phenomenal for a French marigold.
And the uniformity, really superb.
Yeah.
Outstanding vigor as well. And that was one thing that blew me away, having them in my own gardens. is just give you that really nice, beautiful presence all the way into frost conditions with marigolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine are still pumping out flowers here in Virginia, so it's absolutely phenomenal. All right, now getting into Cora XDR. We all know and love Cora. And with the addition of the XDR branding to that, the extreme disease resistance, that's been bred into that. What is it? How many strains are we resistant to now?
We're up to 30 strains of aerial phytophthora.
That's crazy. So yeah, breeding into the resistance to aerial phytophthora for Cora. We have one other XDR branded series, as a reminder, Aymara, our impatiens walleriana, that is highly resistant to IDM. So that's really important to remember. So to Cora, getting back to our original thought here, to Cora, we add this amazing saturated rose punch color. Just, it really is a punch of rose color to you. So aptly named. Good job, product management. And we add that to this, great assortment of, colors that we have in Cora. And then the performance here. So, it's all about that. Cora was not only bred for the disease resistance to aerial phytophthora, but also for better branching, bigger flowers, more flower power. So, and you see that here, covered in color, great plant build. And these photos are from Florida, North Carolina, and Alabama. So what do all three of those sites have in common?
Very strong presence naturally of the pathogen, aerial phytophthora. And they're always constantly getting pressure from new strains, right? This is a very morphing type of pathogen. And so you always have to stay on top of it, monitoring and tracking, working and screening your genetics under the presence of this disease in field and laboratory settings.
Absolutely. So checking all the boxes here at Syngenta, we do everything 100%. So making sure that we have that resistance on lock here. So always staying ahead of it. And we've got a great article on disease resistance breeding and what that means to Syngenta Flowers in the industry. So definitely check that out. It's a great read. And Jamie and I aren't biased. All right, and then moving on to Zydeco. Jamie and I had a fun time presenting Zydeco last year when we launched it. Zydeco is a nod to the Creole culture musical style. So if you don't know what it is, just Google it. It's awesome. You'll have a fun afternoon. But this year we added an improvement to Zydeco Fire and a Zydeco mix to this amazing series. It's a Marilandica zinnia, so it's got the disease resistance of a Marilandica, but our amazing breeder bred it to have like fully double flowers. So it's kind of an elegans, big double type flower on a Marilandica body, so you get the best of both worlds.
And that's one of its niches. So in production in early season, when light levels are lower, I think that's where it separates itself from the competition. Just more doubleness in production, giving you kind of that elegance look with that Marilandica body.
Right, exactly. So we had to give a shout out here this year to our amazing plant breeder, Todd Perkins, who is the breeder of Zydeco and many of our favorites at Syngenta Flowers. He won an Industry Achievement Award this year at Cultivate. For everything that he's contributed to our industry. So we're really excited to celebrate Todd and everything that he's done for our industry. He's the breeder of Sparkler Cleome, of many of our snapdragons, the grandfather of the viola crop that we know and love today. So Aquilegia, so many things, so many amazing things that we love in this industry. So congratulations, Todd, very well deserved. And this is also a throwback to our Medal of Excellence Award winner in 2022 as well for Zydeco. So lots to celebrate here.
Hats off to you, sir.
All right, now some of the performance. So it's not all just talk. It definitely walks too. So here's some photos from Pennsylvania. We got Penn State, University of Georgia, so all of our university sites here, University of Michigan rounding us out here, or excuse me, Minnesota. So you can see that plant body with those big double flowers just keeps going, and that bright color on it.
Yeah, Penn State had a middle 4.5, 4.4 out of 5 through the July and August months. And at the University of Minnesota Morris, they ranked it in their top 10 performers across all genetics they evaluated in the summer gardens. That's impressive.
That is super impressive. And then here it is at Michigan State. I remember last year it really excelled at Michigan State too. So we got year-over-year performance for Zydeco, and here at Young's Plant Farm in Alabama.
I think one of the greatest things about these summer trials across the U.S. is you're evaluating in the ground, in the containers, in baskets. It just really gives a full test nationwide and into Canada as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have all the different trialing sites and how they decide to display stuff. You know, because here you see some using the landscape, so you get to see how things, you know, perform and fill that way, or, you know, more traditional trial ground beds. Really, really nice to have that diversity in our trial sites.
All right, so those are the seed varieties and series that were featured in the gardens this year. Again, checking back on the website, clicking to the different sites, you can see some of those high performers, not only from this year's introductions, but the years in past, where you're really seeing a large volume of our seed varieties and series being evaluated.
You can also see ones that we don't showcase here. So just wanted to, this isn't everything that we launched. So yeah.
This is a success story right off the bat. You know, this is a warm and fuzzy. This is one where we've now introduced a vegetative double flower on this beautiful dark foliage. So Adora, 3 colors. And this complements our Florencio begonias very well. Florencio being more of a single flower, really beautiful foliage, great for the landscape, 6-inch baskets. But Adora now complements it so well. 3 colors: Moon Dance, Satin Rose, Velvet Red. The great thing about Adora is its versatility, its production versatility in various container sizes, all the way from pints all the way up to large deck planters and containers. And here we have it featured in some of our highlighted stations at Cast. On the left-hand side, you can see the color texture, that combination of dark foliage and these brilliant colors. I think one of the messages when I visit a lot of the propagators this year was its durability. You know, you would put it under extreme conditions, low light, heavy mist, shipping, you know, through the logistics cold chain. It performed much better than a lot of the other begonia series that are out there that were having challenge with botrytis and kind of meltdown in propagation. Adora makes it through.
Yep.
So here you can see just gorgeous flower power, and that's the message here. Here in the South and North Carolina at Metrolina, seeing the Velvet Red, and then Massed Young Plants. This one was rated 6 out of 10 for staff evaluation. Really strong performance there in Michigan. In Iowa, the Gooder family, this was ranked number 5 out of the top 25 varieties in their trial there in early August.
Like the begonia capital of the nation, the world even. So that's awesome.
Great test, a great test. And then moving on to Moon Dance, this is one that really has a nice highlight, bright white colors, that double flower on that really striking dark foliage. Whether it's East Coast, West Coast, performed quite well in the summer trials.
So classy. I love that white on the dark foliage.
And then the final one here, this is Satin Rose, really strong flower power, coverage on the top of the canopy, unlike some other begonias that stay underneath the canopy. Adora shows its double flowers on top. And here it is, North Carolina, Michigan State, ranking it 4.8 to 5 in July and August out of 5. Plant Peddler also having a really beautiful display.
Can't beat that.
Biden, someone asked last year, what was my shocker? for the season, and that's the Bidens, the Brazens. So, you know, we have the Mexican gold, the jumbo as well, the yellows, but we also have this gorgeous series of various habits, Brazen. This is Glowing Sky. It was one introduction, but it is quite impressive.
And yeah, and as one of our technical leads, Brian Krug likes to call it, a sunset in a pot.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Brian, just a note, if this whole technical lead thing doesn't work out, I would recommend going into being a poet.
I don't know.
I think we need him, and we need him in the field, don't we?
Yeah.
So here's Brazen, and one of the cool things about our Brazen series is we have different habits, different vigors and habits. And when you look at these grids are on our website as well as our catalog, and you can kind of pick and choose what you like based on what you want to do, monoculture or in combo. Glowing Sky really makes a perfect addition to the combo. We're testing this in several quick combos, but that orange tone and just that medium vigor, but also that in-between upright and mounded habit. Here it is in the garden. Really nice, strong performance in the ground with strong flower power from deep south, the southern states, and the West Coast.
Can't beat it. All right, so we've got two new introductions into our Cali Calibrachoa series. So Cali is our collection of like more vigorous Calibrachoa that are great, you know, on their own in hanging baskets and in combinations. And then we have Cabrio, which is our more compact series. But we add this dark blue and deep orange to Cali, which are awesome for their bright colors, saturated colors in those flowers, you know, which are really necessary for Calibrachoa that, you know, are meant to perform in the heat and throughout the summer. And, you know, they've got to have that flower power. We have done our day length trialing on these to see what the minimum photo period is that we recommend to get good flowering. And they're both 10.5 hours, which is awesome for those lower latitudes, like in Florida, where they're producing Calibrachoa really, you know, early in the season to get it out there. So that's great. You won't have to worry about that when you got these in production.
And it flowers when you need to have it flower, whereas the cutting, the vegetative cutting, stays vegetative due to our stock plant management protocols. We get faster rooting. You don't have to battle botrytis because you've got all this flower material being grown in these high density trays. Our cuttings stay green, the energy goes to the root system, and then they flower when you need them to flower.
Yeah, so really taking care of your success from start to finish. We think of it all at Syngenta. So all right, here's some performance on that on the Cali dark blue. So you can see that the color staying bright, nice habits, covered in color from containers and in the ground. You know, it's good color saturation on there with Cali dark blue. And then we've got the deep orange. So again, the same thing from the ground to a container, that nice deep orange color just staying there saturated. Orange is my absolute favorite color, and I love this Cali deep orange.
Really nice and tidy. Our former orange was a little more open, so the flower power really wasn't intense. But now with this deep orange color, that flower power is really present.
Yeah, and these also like replaced other colors that were similar but weren't quite as saturated and didn't have a shorter day length minimum photo period. So they're also kind of upgrades, total upgrades to the Cali series, which we've done many upgrades on that series over the years. So if you don't currently grow it, highly suggest trying it now. And then Talavera. All right, this is super exciting. I've been like chomping at the bit to talk about Talavera.
Yeah, this is another success story from the summer trials.
Yeah,
with these great new genetics.
Yeah, so we're getting into Coleus. This is our entry into Coleus. We're kicking off with these 6 colors. So we've got, you know, the patterns that you kind of know and love and need in your Coleus programs. But then, you know, we're also trying to bring some of the new unique stuff with like moon dust there. It's very, very unique. Talavera keeps its color under sun and shade, later flowering than other Coleuses. Or is it Colei?
I would go Colii with two
Two
eyes.
yes,
Yeah.
only with two eyes. But then other Coleus series. So let's look at some of the performance here, because with all of these, like it was just phenomenal how this performed across the country. So we have some comparisons here to some of the other Coleus series on the market, that are well known, but we've got the vigor and the branching and the color saturation. Great in containers and in the ground, just really nice assortment in combos.
Yes. The other cool thing is the color choices that have been presented. Burgundy, pink, and chartreuse. Very popular colors in Coleus, but also it has those fall tones. So you've got the best of both worlds for spring and also the fall season. So all growing season long, highlighting these Talavera.
Heck yeah. Mine look phenomenal right now. I'm so ready for fall. All right, so here's chocolate velveteen. So usually these chocolatey colors tend to lose, like they get really kind of gross and burnt in the sun, but in with Talavera, it's just keeping that color, keeping that habit, nice fill. None of these are even close to flowering. So performance from we've got New Jersey and Washington here, and Michigan State.
Across the colors, 4.7 out of 5, 4.8 out of 5 when we looked at some of the evaluations from the universities.
And then here's chocolate mint. So this has that chocolate color with the minty edge to it. And these two, the chocolate velveteen and the chocolate mint, so the two with chocolate in it, are just a little bit more vigorous than the rest of the series. So just something to kind of note in your production, but it's not anything overwhelming, but good to know.
Yeah, and this one just won a really prestigious award, the University of Georgia Classic City Award to Chocolate Mint. So congratulations.
Yes. All the love there. All right, and then we got burgundy lime. So nice red with the lime, great contrast. It's really cool to see how this one, and just kind of the cool thing about Coleus in general, how the foliage patterns change and adjust like through the season and under different environmental conditions. So, in some places it's a little more lime than it is red, and in some places it's a little more red than it is lime. So it's very dynamic.
I think one of the interesting things I saw at the end of the season, pretty much about 3 weeks ago in a lot of these trials, is one of the greenhouses was cutting all the coleus back. And, they were really hacking them back to get the branching back and flush. Well, guess what series didn't have to get cut back until the end?
Talavera?
Yeah, new genetics, folks. Really strong performing coleus series here.
All right, then Sienna. This is my favorite. As I said, I'm a fan of orange. So, and also I'm a Hokie. So this one that has a little bit of maroon and a little bit of orange in it sometimes is absolutely my favorite. So great performance again from Florida. Amazing orange color there at Welby Gardens in Colorado. And then that consistent performance there at Lucas Greenhouses in New Jersey. All right, and then pink tricolor. So this is great to have, that like really unique, or to have those three dynamic tricolors into the Talavera series. Just the branching from in the container to in the ground. Love the photo from the Cincinnati Zoo there, because the little plant sneaking in there, Eucomis, is very near and dear to my heart. Spent a lot of time with that plant in grad school. So it's nice to see it, in the landscape and mixed with different things.
A staff pick at Massed Young Plants, number 9 out of 10 in its evaluation, and it made the top 10 at the University of Minnesota. So pink tricolor, a very popular variety within the series.
All the accolades. And then Moon Dust. So this one has definitely been kind of a fan favorite. We've heard a lot of feedback about the uniqueness of this and like the cool speckledy, and that's a technical term, speckledy, pattern on the foliage, and that Texas A&M. So the heat tolerance on this.
That's right.
Insane.
It was 105 degrees for consecutive days on a concrete floor. And guess what? It made the top 5 overall in the Texas A&M extension site there, right outside of Houston.
Yeah, it was like 90-degree soil temps or something like that. Like that's crazy. That's like growing in a sauna. So very amazing, resilient genetics here.
Also, the University of Georgia rated moon dust as a plant of distinction in July.
Distinction, excellent. And then combos.
Yes.
So, it just, that's where, things like this really shine. And just in general, combos are really big right now. So, what can we do to make it easier to put them together? The Talavera combos, work really well together, nice, fun variations. And Talavera the name is a nod to the really colorful pottery that you can see in the photo in the lower right. And so it mixes in, it's very dynamic, kind of mosaic. And also there you can see in that combo, it combined with our Spectra series of New Guinean patience. So we call those the Spectra Vera combos. So Spectra also performs in sun and shade like Talavera. So it's a great no-brainer combo to put together.
Perfect pair to put in a container.
Perfect pairs.
Okay, our heat lover, Medinia, whether it's Mandevilla or Dipladenia, however you want to start, the genera is Mandevilla. Our breeding profile is Dipladenia for its rounded, contained habit. And we've got the Medinias and we've got the Maximos that have a little more higher vigor. Now we brought you this compact, perfect, gorgeous pair, pink and red, called the Petites. And these Medinia Petites are bred and built for high density production. So one of the great things is a lot of the southern growers love this for its very intense production because it doesn't have to need a lot of PGRs and management. So you can grow these fairly tray tight. And a lot of other great attributes of the Petites, that gorgeous yellow throat on both the red and the pink, quite attractive. Now, the one message we have about Petites is they have a niche. They have a niche in court production. They're perfect for displaying this in retail for combinations. But if you were to put this as a monoculture, we would recommend, say, some 8-inch color bowls or maybe some 8-inch hanging baskets, and really allow the Medinia and the Maximo for those larger containers, the 10-inch, 12-inch hanging baskets, as well as your large deck planters with potentially trellising for the Maximos.
Yeah, I really love the Petites in hanging baskets because they have the branching, they have like the more petite profile to it. So it's just a more like tidy, beautiful hanging basket. Whereas, some things can get kind of spindly and wild and out of control. These are very controlled and sophisticated for a Dipladenia hanging basket.
And hats off to our technical trialing team. They did the work. The homework's been done, folks, on the timing. Petites finished 2 weeks earlier than a lot of the other leading competitors that are claiming early flowering. So still in the Syngenta portfolio, we have some early flowering Medinias here with the Petites. These are very impressive when it comes to quicker finish than more of your standard Dipladenias and then your larger, more aggressive Mandevillas.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I love the photo in the upper right there that really shows the differentiation between why we have the 3 different series of Medinias. So the Petite to your straight Medinia and then the Medinia Maximo. So it really is a vigor story. So make sure you're picking the right Dipladenia for the application.
And once you pick, Syngenta Flowers has the technical library in order to grow them. Narrated webinars, videos, the culture guides, all that information is ready to review for production.
Yeah.
Well, then we've got some trial data here. This is from the really warm conditions of Texas. Texas, we've got some folks from Texas in Syngenta, and they love Texas.
Oh yeah.
And it is super hot down there. So here we have the Dallas Arboretum, the Petites there in these large color bowls. But then our buddy, we love Vaughn Fletcher. What a
Mhm.
great guy, an industry character, just a wealth of knowledge and fun to talk to. And he just loves the genetics and people. So we love you, Vaughn, and we love that you sent us this picture showing you the perfect niche for Medinia petites, right? It is an accent plant in combos. Here it is with some tropical plants, the Kufia here. So, you know, you can use this strikingly in combinations. Bold and bright colors, as Vaughn says, absolutely.
Yep.
So again, just want to touch. Yes, we've got these gorgeous petites, but wow, that was my first statement when I saw this image out of the Cincinnati Zoo. The images that came in there from Ohio, there just gorgeous. His is the Maximo. So just a gentle reminder: a plant for each, plant profiles for each container and use with the Syngenta portfolio.
I think a smart man said on a recent Diplodenia culture podcast webinar to begin with the end in mind. So
that's how you got to think about it.
Yep.
Okay, geraniums, vegetative geraniums, right? Calliopes. I'm just gonna really sing its glory. Calliopes have been around for a while, and they still perform better than any of these other interspecific geraniums that are coming to the marketplace. Why? Because the screening and evaluation and the breeding is outstanding.
The best of the best.
When you look at the degree of branching with Calliope, that means it has more flowers. And this is our focus in the past few years, is to fill the gaps. And one of those gaps was an interspecific white splash. Everybody knows the Americana white splash, the zonal geranium, which is great. Does really well in combos or as monoculture, good flower power, a little challenge in propagation, but it makes a great crop. And now we have this interspecific white splash, super popular, really being booked very strongly right now. I think the one message about Calliope medium white splash is the flower power.
It's insane. Amazing
flower power, the number of flowers. So think about that, folks. When you're growing your hanging baskets, you're growing your containers, think Calliope medium. That's why it was bred, to give you the strongest flower power in the marketplace in retail settings.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, thinking about, Calliope, you know, filling color gaps, but also improving on the varieties that we currently have. And then using Calliope in combos. So geranium combos. Yes, please. Can we have more? Calliopes, they all work together. So, you know, putting your mediums with your mediums, your larges with your larges, you know, and then we've got Calliope Cascade. The possibilities are endless. So definitely thinking about Calliope for combos too.
The Calliope medium white splash was a plant of distinction in the month of June from the University of Georgia. Here it is in more northern conditions. There in Ontario with Mel Sawaya's trial, always does a beautiful job displaying the containers there on those risers, those metal risers, and then all across the country. So here it again is at the University of Georgia and at Lucas Greenhouses.
Yeah, and the response from the industry for this variety has already been very overwhelmingly positive. So thank you to all of you who have already placed your orders for this. It's phenomenal to see that type of enthusiasm for our genetics. So thank you. All right, and then keeping with our vegetative geraniums, we've got a improvement to our dark red for Mojo. So, and addition with Scarlet. So Mojo is the dark foliage, upright habit, amazing color. You know, it's got the same branching and flower power and performance that you would expect from Syngenta geraniums, but just a little different habit for a different application. One of this improvement to the dark red is really phenomenal. So this photo here shows our original dark red and then our dark red improved in the ground there at Metrolina. And you can see the flower power is even more on the dark red improved than on our previous version. And it's also made the timing of the series with this improvement much more tight for all the colors, finishing in a tighter window. So if you've been hesitating to pick up a Mojo for your production because the red was a little later, now's the time to get it into production and give it a try and see that nice tight finishing of the colors in the series. So here's some of the performance across the country of that dark red. So Pennsylvania, they're in containers, at Mass Young Plants, Michigan State, Young's, you see those big, beautiful umbels of geranium flowers. I mean, classic.
Yeah, and it received nothing less than a 4.6 out of 5. In most cases, it was 5 out of 5 at a lot of the university demonstrations. Dark foliage, that nice habit with the strong flower power.
Yeah, and that dark foliage also translates to some awesome heat tolerance. So that's one of the other things that we really look at in our vegetative geranium assortment is heat tolerance. So when geraniums get too hot, they get the heat stress induced iron deficiency. I got it, Lauren. Yeah. And where the young leaves tend, kind of bleach out. And we've screened our assortment for that. And these dark leaf types like Mojo are ones that are very tolerant to heat. They don't show that symptomology. So that's really great to consider for picking up the Mojo series. And then Scarlet, just that like brighter red color, but same flower power, branching, performance, heat tolerance, it's all there.
And I would take a Scarlet just the same as a Mojo dark red improved. Really strong flower power. The timing is the great thing about this story with this series now, and the extreme upright habit making it great for high density production with a lot of our greenhouse customers.
Right. And you see the performance here from north to south. It's knocking it out of the park.
This is a favorite of mine. This is Spectra. This is a series that we've launched a few years back, and we've added a few colors here and there. We've also done some improvements. So we've now built an orange improved that has a little tidier habit that matches the habit of the other colors, and this gorgeous novelty in pink bicolor. A refresher for Spectra, a better New Guinea impatiens. That front shoulder for New Guinea's early season when you really need the flower power. 120% more flower coverage than the other interspecific New Guinea impatiens out there. 40% larger flowers. Really dense canopy. So it's not going to have that V-shaped look. Really mounded with dense canopy, great heat tolerance. And as you place this in more full sun conditions, the leaves are smaller, allowing more presence of the flower. Look at the flower power on this. This is the new and improved orange. Here you have a real nice, striking presentation of the color. Lots of trial work done, and we've put these in some cases full sun conditions, sometimes part sun conditions, part shade conditions, performing quite well. So Spectra orange improved. It's received quite a few really strong ratings. In Penn State, nothing lower than 4.8 out of 5 the entire season. Michigan State, 4.3 to 4.8 out of 5 across these two colors in evaluation. So really look at this as a front shoulder New Guinea impatiens that's going to have the strong flower power and those large flowers, much like our sonics and supersonics. This also is going to flower about 2 weeks earlier than a lot of the other New Guinea impatiens out there on the market.
Absolutely. Quick turns. I love them in hanging baskets. They're like the perfect hanging basket, New Guinea. Absolutely.
Okay, Deco, right? Dare to be different. This is our vegetative petunia. This is our leading landscape petunia. Why? Because it can tolerate those winds and the rainfall that occurs in summer months. The rebound time is extremely quick just because of its really thick foliage, and it's a blanket of strong vigor across the garden, but it makes a great hanging basket plant as well as playing well with others. That's why it's got the KK in its name, because it's playing well with other species in our quick combos. So the improvement, what is it? Well, a picture tells a million words. So that's flower power. I thought our Deco White was good, but now it's amazing. Look at the degree of flowers and just how it will be presented in combinations now with other complementary colors.
Yeah, so earlier to flower, a shorter day length requirement, and more flower power. So yeah, improvements all around here.
And just a blanket of coverage. A lot of the trial sites would use it in ground beds just because they know it is perfect for the landscape community. Landscapers are really adopting the Deco Petunia just because of its prostrate habit, its density, and the flower power that it presents. Whether it's in the north or south, Deco is really striking.
And then, so finishing off our vegetative new introductions here with really just, I mean, I was super excited about Talavera, but like Itsy is also like really up there on all of our excitement meters. So this year we launched Itsy Pink to add to Itsy Magenta and Itsy White. So now we've got 3. And the performance on Itsy just everywhere has been the talk of the town.
You know, Itsy Magenta, very good.
Yeah.
Itsy White, amazing, awesome, great as a Bacopa alternative as well.
Exactly.
Itsy Pink, outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, of the 3, this is my favorite.
I mean, it just doesn't even seem real. Like the pink ball of like, I don't know. I swear we didn't, this is not Photoshop. This is for real at Lucas. Just amazing habit on this, and the flower coverage and the resiliency to weather too, that you were talking about with Deco. You know, it's a small flower, but there's so many of them, and there's so many benefits that has to like actually performing in the garden. We got more photos here from, University of Minnesota and Plant Peddler. You know, you see it from in a hanging basket to in the ground. You see that landscape application for it. I mean, we've got landscape, we've got hanging baskets, we've got combos, we've got, just patio containers by itself. What Itsy really does everything.
Absolutely. And just really just encouraging people to use it in the ground beds. At Plant Peddler, it was number 12 out of 25 of the highest performing varieties in their trial in early August.
Absolutely amazing. And it's just like consistent performance, just everywhere. We couldn't even put all the photos in of where it was phenomenal, but it's just everywhere.
10 out of 10 at Mass Young Plants there in Western Michigan, 4.5 out of 5 at Penn State.
All right, Jamie. So now take us through some of the highlights of our new quick combos here.
Yeah, I love our approach now evaluating quick combos. We trialed this in about 6 different production sites. The number one goal is balance and how they play well with one another's, and season-long garden performance. Those 3 species, or 2 species in some cases, have to perform the entire way through. So what our product manager, Amy Briggs-Maka, has done is she's recognized those beautiful tones of lavender, white, and purple are so popular. If you think about several of our real popular tones such as this, like Grape Expectations would be one. Amy wanted to build more, and she has these gorgeous ads like the Deco White Improved now to bring that in and perform well. And so Lavender Twist did quite well, whether it was in the south or the north, performing in containers in combo, and those colors stay. They stay all the way through. Even when you cut it back, Allison, all 3 come back in concert together.
You can't say that about a lot of things. And here's it, performance through at Young's and at Lucas. So you can see that balance. You see all the components. They're not competing with one another. They're collaborating,
Absolutely.
you know? Love
Well,
it.
well behaved.
Yes, collaboration with a K.
Okay, this is another special one. And I know folks love the shortcake, the blueberry, and the raspberry. This is one using shortcake blueberry, Deco Purple, and Lanai White. Lanai White is an outstanding verbena. Our verbena are outstanding. Our Lanai series are tremendous. When you put these three together in Blueberry Blast, you have just an explosion of color and just the solid performance season long. So one of the great things that we saw down in Texas, down right outside of Houston, top 5 overall plants, a combination
Crazy.
in July. Quick combo Blueberry Blast, great for the North and South. This is the special one, right?
Yeah, because we launched the pink this year. We had the white and the magenta. They do well on their own, but when you mix the three together, it's just pure trifection, Jamie. So another very well named quick combo here. Good job, Amy. So this combo performed phenomenally across the continent too. Mixing, playing well, collaborating, as we said. So just all three colors together, just it's just so good. So good.
Yeah, hands down, everywhere that it was trialed, high performing, top of the list, incredibly striking, brilliant colors. One of the great places that I love to visit is Mass Young Plants, their trial garden. A gentleman by the name of Michael DeBerti is an artist when he makes these combos. And when this combo was displayed there in Western Michigan, it received #1 out of probably close to 200, probably it's over 200 combos in that garden. This was the #1 consumer favorite of combos there at Mass Young Plants. So that tells you this is really resonating with home gardeners.
I mean, I'd take like 20 of those right now. And then here at Plant Peddler, this is one where we just had to pick, the favorite of the favorite. We couldn't show everything because they're all just phenomenal. All right, and then so keeping with this rolling petunia excitement, a little sneak peek into one of our 2024 introductions.
Little taste here.
Little taste. So this is Deco Max Pink. So everything that you love about Deco, but to the max. So it's got, the great landscape performance, spreading, covered in color, resilience to weather, but maximum vigor. So it's going to fill those containers. It's going to fill the garden. Like this is a Deco to the max. So really watch out for this one because it's going to be good.
And with it being a Deco, it's staying rather prostrate, but it's going to have the body and then its resistance to splitting and snotting out in the rainfall is what it's really going to do for the home gardener, and really easy to produce. We've had a lot of experience so far in our trialing, and we've got the protocols for you ready to go.
Yep. All right. So we got a lot of new and exciting stuff coming for 2024. So definitely don't sleep on it. Keep an eye on Syngenta Flowers here.
I want to salute our market communications team and the work they do. They build all these great tools. And speaking of tools, for the brokers out there, the sales reps out there, please use our website as a silent sales tool and to show you and feature all these various trial sites. They are where you are, showing you not only our existing genetics, but the new launch that came out and cast.
And just another huge thank you to all of our trialing partners. We really appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And just the camaraderie and all the care that you put into growing our genetics. We really appreciate it. So that ends our review, and we would love to take some questions.
Absolutely. Stump us.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can look at the chat because I see we've got a few in here. Okay. There was one, how early can you finish these by? I'm not sure when that question came in. Fareed, if you could comment again on what crop that was, that would be awesome. And we can definitely answer your question. Oh, so Medinia Petite. Okay. Yeah. How early can you finish these by?
Yep, great question, Khalil. Fareed, sorry, my apologies. The Medinia petites, so they're flowering about 2 weeks earlier than the standard dipladenias. And so what we found is if you're leaning towards maybe a calloused cutting, you could potentially bring this in after the first of the year, get the propagation going, get this planted roughly into weeks 5 or 6. And then you're finishing this right at the Mother's Day sales window. And so that's where you also not really have to watch the timing, right? But you really want to watch the environmental conditions. So we have a formula, right? 70 to 72 degrees average daily temperature in the greenhouse, 15 moles or greater of light, and 14 hours of photo period. So when you have that recipe for 10 weeks before market, you're going to deliver these dipladenia to the marketplace on time. Again, all these pieces of information are on our website, so you can review that, but also reach out. We can customize programs. That's one of the great things about our tech team and our sales team. We're all well-versed in supporting the grower, and we can build this information for you to be successful.
Absolutely. All right, our next question. Besides Mojo, what other geraniums are heat tolerant? Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mentioned it with Mojo, but a lot of our vegetative geraniums have really phenomenal heat tolerance for the South, and we actually have a nice tech sheet that takes you through a list of our most heat tolerant genetics, especially for the South. So our Marcom team can throw the link to that into the chat, and we have that on our website. So that's an awesome resource to utilize for selection. Yeah, and I threw it in there.
And you'll be surprised at the number of zonal geraniums in our Legacy Fisher series, the Americanas, the Rocky Mountains, but also think about those recent introductions like Caldera, a volcano of color, right? Mm-hmm. That's spreading interspecific. That also can extend your season, right? You can do ivy geraniums, and then you follow up with these calderas in the summer months for extending your retail garden sales.
Exactly. All right, our other question here. Some of the limitless begonias in the hanging baskets looked like they were semi-trailing. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. When you're looking at these from a garden performance perspective, you're looking at more mature plants, right? Mm-hmm. So ideally, when you're looking at, say, producing these within 10 weeks from a 288 plug in a hanging basket, it's going to just tease over the basket rim for retail sales. But in its true garden state, it's going to have those large flowers that continue to grow, right? Limitless is the term. And so these also help the display of the pendulate habit of limitless, and really strong branches, and those flowers, the flower sizes are so impressive.
Yeah, exactly. All right. These questions are great. Thank you all for your engagement. All right. What light levels do you recommend for Adora greenhouse production? Oh, that's a great question.
Really specific, great, and very detailed question, right? So this is a begonia for full sun conditions. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Adora begonias, double flowers, dark foliage, full sun conditions, of course, with irrigation or rainfall, natural rainfall, it's always going to perform better. But when you are producing this, you do need to be mindful in propagation. Tends to be 4 to 6 moles early in propagation, maybe upwards to 9 moles. Average 9 moles per day would be my recommendation. And then growing these in the greenhouse, you can go up to, say, 14 to 16 moles per day for finish. Again, all full culture is available on our website for Adora and all of our varieties.
Yeah, and speaking of light levels, the photo period is really important for the begonia production. So making sure you pay attention to the day length they're being propagated under. So long days during propagation to prevent the tuber formation that happens under short days, and to get good rooting, good branching, and the subsequent flower power. So we actually have a nice tech sheet that our tech scientists and tech leads put together that explains the interactions from a trial that was done at our R&D site in Gilroy. So yep, and our amazing Marcom team just put a link to it in the chat. Thank you, thank you. So y'all can check that out and be fully prepared. Okay, do you see anyone using Itsy White as a sub for Bacopa? Yes, 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 and yes.
Now, having said that, our Bacopa are really awesome.
Well, sure.
Calypso, these Calypso colors are great for that early season, for hanging basket combos with geraniums and other bedding plants. But no doubt, Itsy is being fully adopted as a Bacopa alternative.
All right, and then we're just a smidge over time, but we'll finish off with this question because this is a good one. This is a good one. So I mean, they're all good, but this is a good one to finish on. Outside of the crops shown today, what stuck out to you during your travels this summer? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it was really phenomenal to see all the different cut flower trial sites that are coming around in the industry. It's cut flowers, very near and dear to my heart. We, in the last couple of years, relaunched our cut flower assortment at Syngenta Flowers, and it's been really cool to just kind of see cut flower, especially cut flower production, come back to North America, and just all the varieties, all the sites picking it up, all the excitement. So yeah, that for me, that really stuck out.
Yeah, and I'll just briefly address one of my favorite combos I saw this year with a lot of our really strong vegetative crops. At Mass Young Plants, there was a combo that was really heralded as one of the well-balanced combos, had blues and whites. Think back to some of our highest performing vegetative plants, such as our Salvia farinacea, our Salvia velocity. It had Velocity Salvia, one of the first vegetative Salvia farinaceas to flower for greenhouse growers. So you get it to market early. It's not one of these big and bold salvias that's really impressive, and then all of a sudden it just splits and cracks and breaks in the summer. This just stays nice and steady all summer long. Salvia Velocity, Itsy White, and then the Bombay Scaevola, the dark blue. It was a combo that was really noted as a real high performer, and it really strikes me because those three varieties are really near and dear to my heart. So I love our Bombays.
Sounds awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you all for coming to our webinar, and for those who are listening to it after the fact, thank you for listening. We've enjoyed your questions and your engagement and the little things that pop up as we talk. That's very encouraging. So thank you to the entire Syngenta Flowers team for all of your efforts visiting these sites and helping us collect photos to talk about, and the Marcom team for helping us execute this. And thank you, Jamie, for being a good co-host today.
It's always a pleasure, Allison, presenting with you. Get so excited about our genetics. So
all right, thank you all. Happy trialing, and have a good season. Thank you.